What's going on, Shady People? ShadyPenguinn welcoming you back to another live Pokemon Alpha Sapphire Wifi Battle today against the Shady person, Kaiser. His Twitter link is in the description, or if you want a chance to be featured in one of these videos, make sure you follow me on Twitter. My link is down in the description. Twitters are completely free to make, and I request battles on there frequently. So today is the final battle with our Mayweather team. We got Mayweather the Toxicroak, Mandy the Mandibuzz, Flare Bud the Arcanine, Leonardo the Blastoise of Mega Variety, Mega Evolve the Flygon, and Lily the Lilligant, who likes to sweep things around. So we're gonna jump into this battle right away because I am hard pressed for time. I still want to record Lion King, shameless plug. I have so many cool series on the second channel. Link is in the description always, youtube.com/shadygaming, /c/shadygaming, because YouTube URLs are weird now. There's just so much fun. We did Aladdin, we're doing Amnesia, we did Mega Man X, now we're gonna be doing Lion King, we're gonna be doing Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 2. It's gonna be so awesome. So we can see my opponent's team, bringing a really cool team. He's got a Beedrill, probably a Mega Beedrill. He's got an Espeon, Zangoose, is that right? Something sounds wrong with that name. Cresselia, Donphan, and Arcanine. So I'm gonna have a hard time with that crest if I ever lose my Leonardo, unless I set up real good with my Lilligant. So the Beedrill's kind of gonna stop my Lilligant from setting up in the first place. I'm gonna open up with, as we've done in the previous two matches, at this point it seems like the safest bet. We're gonna open up with Mega Evolve, the U-turning Choice Scarfed Flygon. So common weaknesses we can touch on really quick on my opponent's team. He's got two Pokemon weak to Ghost and Dark, which will be Mega Blastoise. Mega Blastoise really handles this team well. He's got the Donphan's weak to Water, the Arcanine's weak to Water, the Zangoose, I think that's your name. Why am I questioning that? Is weak to Fighting, and we have the Aura Sphere. The Beedrill's really the biggest threat, and we don't have rocks, so we're gonna have to play real carefully to make sure we handle that Beedrill appropriately. So King Friend opens up. That is the Donphan. So we could be really risking the biscuit here. Is the U-turn even worth the risk of an Ice Shard? That's the question. I'm just gonna hard switch out into Leonardo. It's not worth the risk because an Ice Shard will really do so much damage to Flygon. Even if it doesn't pick up the KO because it's not stab, it would do way too much. So there is the Ice Shard, in fact, so I'm really glad that I did not decide to go for the U-turn and just preserve myself here. And we're in a pretty good spot because we're out here in Leonardo, and I'm kind of going to go for the Dark Pulse. I kind of think that Donphan is not going to want to stay in this. I don't think Donphan's going to want to stay in this, and I think that Crest will want to come in. So with that in mind, I'm gonna go for a Dark Pulse. It really stinks for my opponent that this Blastoise just puts in so much work against his team. Between the Dark Pulses, the Water Pulses, like I already said, it's gonna be brutal. He's gotta get rid of this thing as soon as possible, which means that the Beedrill might have to come in at some point safely. Looking at that he has no real safe switch-ins for this Leonardo, I don't know that he will still be switching out like my initial prediction said, but a Dark Pulse will still do a good amount. He is going to stay in, so I will regret not going for the Water Pulse. See, my train of thought always ends off at the right place after I sit there and think, but my initial instincts are kind of out there. So we'll get a Dark Pulse off. It's still a 2-hit KO, and the Donphan has Seed Bomb for the Blastoise. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I think we've just seen beauty. We've just seen beauty. Maybe I don't play you enough. I never see Donphan with Seed Bomb. Never. That is glorious. I mean, it didn't KO, but that damage is so important considering how bad my opponent's team does against it. Now, the Toxicroak is not going to enjoy the Espeon and the Crest, so we are really, we are up a creek with that, especially since now our Blastoise is much lower than I wanted it to be. Going for Dark Pulse was not the worst thing in the world because it's still a 2-hit KO. I did actually switch to Water Pulse, kind of hoping that he'll predict a Dark Pulse and go on into something else, but I don't think that'll happen. Either way, Water Pulse is almost just as strong. It goes Stab, Mega Launcher. I know that super effective Mega Launcher Dark Pulse is going to be more effective on the Crest, and I'm going to preserve my Leonardo after this. Like, if he goes out into anything, if he goes out into Espeon or Beedrill, I'm switching this thing out. I gotta... Oh no! I'm sorry I sneezed into the mic. My opponent's actually going to switch out into Luna! Wow, a bold play after I reveal the Dark Pulse, but one that I can respect highly because he eats it up. Eats it up entirely. Since my Blastoise is in here, and the Crest is the one thing I'm really worried about. I'm gonna just go for a Dark Pulse. I'm gonna stay in. I know I said I was gonna preserve, but this is what I wanted to preserve for. So we're gonna see a Psychic come through from the crest that might take me out. No, it's not. Leonardo's sitting strong. And I have no reason not to go for another Dark Pulse to finish this thing off. Like I said, this Blastoise is really gonna put in work. My opponent has no choice but to continually sack Mons off. Didn't want to just switch in the Blastoise. Didn't want to just switch in the Beedrill on a Water Pulse or anything because Mega Beedrill is so frail. Not to mention regular Beedrill. So Alice is gonna come out, and I could see this thing protecting. I could see this thing doing a number of things. I don't know that Blastoise is super worth preserving at this point. But it does outspeed the Donphan, and it still does put in work. So I think we are gonna save it. And I'm gonna go into my physically defensive wall, Flare Bud, get an Intimidate off, make the safe play, make the correct play. At least in my book, it's the correct play. And we should be in an okay position here. A little bit of intimidation for that Zangoose. And there's the Facade. The Stab Facade is real. The boost has not come through yet because there's the Poison Orb. Toxic Orb, rather. Wow, a Toxic Orb. Huh. I would personally probably go Flame Orb. Well, if you have Guts. Oh, no, you probably don't have Guts, probably have Quick Feet. All right, so we kind of have to sack off. Not sack off, but I'm going to go for an E-Speed here. He's going to actually withdraw Alice and go out into Donphan. Are you going to do that or go into your own Arcanine? Vulcan 300. Yeah, this 300. Vulcan 300, the Arcanine, his own Arcanine is going to come in. And that's a bit of an issue for us because this is not going to do much. And we're going to see the Leftover. So that is a Leftovers Arcanine while we are the Rocky Helmet Arcanine. I don't have any answers. I have no answers. I don't want to take a Will-O-Wisp. I think it's time to sack off Leonardo. I'm going to go ahead and hard switch out into Leonardo, kind of sacrificing it to the beautiful pup that Vulcan 300 is. Because I don't see another way out. I don't want to hard switch my Flygon in, just in case this Arcanine does go for a Will-O-Wisp predicting a switch. I really don't want that to happen, so I think I'd be better off just kind of sacrificing this thing to the Flamethrower. So the Flamethrower would have been great to bring the Flygon in, of course, but you know, and he gets the burn, but that's totally cool. I'm sacrificing this Blastoise anyway, so we're not even gonna bother mentioning that hacks more than once. And we're gonna get our safe switch in here that we were kind of gunning for. With the Crest gone, I have no problem just firing off EQs with Flygon. With Crest gone, I have no reason not to fire off EQs. So we're gonna do just that. He has no Fairy type, so if I wanted to go for Outrages, I could. Outrage is a bit stronger, but Earthquake is super effective, so I think this is the right play. It should be a 2-hit KO even after a Will-O-Wisp, so we're gonna see the Will-O-Wisp. It's gonna connect, but it should still be a 2-hit KO unless he's rocking Protect. I really think that we'll be fine. I just gotta get rid of this Arcanine. Hashtag bars hash, hashtag bars, hashtag bars hash. And even burned, a Stone Edge on a Mega Beedrill should probably KO it, because Mega Beedrill is so frail. So we're gonna go for the EQ here. My opponent might switch out into the Donphan. I could see that. Gonna switch out, and it has to be into the Donphan. There's no way it's anything else. Gonna be King Friend the Donphan, who's gonna be able to take this EQ like a complete boss, like a complete and utter boss. That does relatively nothing. We're gonna suffer burn damage. And I do think that he's gonna take this opportunity to set up the Stealth Rocks. Let's see. Toxicroak does not have fun against my opponent's team at all. At all. Man, without Leonardo, I do not have a safe switch in, but I have to preserve this thing for that Beedrill. I'm gonna go into Mandibuzz. You know what? We're gonna go into Mandibuzz. If he does set up the Stealth Rocks, we do have our Defogger on the field, who is good to go. We're gonna see the Rock Slide. Wow, that is a perfect prediction. That was absolutely flawless. It's gonna do a large amount of damage, and I am forced to go for a foul play here, ladies and gentlemen. My hand is being forced into the foul play momentum, without a doubt. I'm being forced into the foul play. Woo, tomorrow's gonna be a lot of editing and no recording, I think. Man. So far we have 6, 7, 8 videos to edit after we record this one. Woo! Get along, little doggy, and I still gotta record Lion King. This is a good day. Ice Shard is actually gonna come through. I would have opted to go for Rock Slide again, most likely, considering you outspeed. We're gonna foul play it up, and down goes the Don fan, which some of you can argue that I should have roosted. I understand, but maybe Mandibuzz actually outspeeds. You know what? We're gonna check that right now so I don't get comments about it. Boom shakalaka, my name is Mr. Waka. Damage calculator. Mandibuzz. Oh, base 80. That's a question. And yes, you naturally outspeed. Even if they invest, oh my gosh, even if they invest 200 points, you still outspeed? Yeah, you do. Wow, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. That is fantastic. Good to know. So you went for the Ice Shard for that reason, predicting the roost, all that fun stuff. This is a little bit of a problem for me. I'm gonna stay in, and I'm gonna foul play because I think Mandibuzz has kind of done what it's had to do. It would do very well against potentially a Choice Scarf Espeon, but I'm gonna go ahead and let this one go down. I'm gonna let this one go down. I could go out into my Arcanine here, but I think that's a little obvious, and I feel as though a knockoff is coming my way. So that's why that's the biggest reason why I'm going for the foul play. Hashtag bars. The biggest reason why I'm going for the foul play. So we're gonna see the Mega Beedrill come through just as expected. Abe Jonjo. Fell Stinger. Oh, we just lost. Oh, we live! We live! We live! Oh my gosh! Yo! Had he gotten the Fell Stinger KO, we 100% lost. Oh my goodness, that would have been ridiculous. I mean, Flygon's still there, outspeeding and whatnot, but still, would have been absurd. Fell Stinger. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Out comes the Espeon here, so like I said, I'm fine with Mandy going down. Kind of been, you know, trying to let her go down for a while. Dazzling Gleam is gonna come through. Pink Kitty's gonna take Mandy out to dinner. Unfortunately, she's gonna make Mandy pick up the tab, and that's not what you do when you take someone out. It's not what you do. So we're here now, and I'm gonna go out into Lil Lily. Now, this could be a questionable play, I understand, but I think that we can set up a Quiver Dance. I really do. I really feel comfortable setting up this Quiver Dance. My opponent does have the Arcanine left, but I have Hidden Power Rock, ladies and gentlemen, and we only saw the Flamethrower from that Arcanine. So, as far as fire-based damage, we saw Will-O-Wisp. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is really bad because I can't Sleep Powder this Espeon. I can't Sleep Powder this Espeon. Oh no. Oh gosh. I think we just bunked up so bad. Oh, I think we just bunked up so bad. I mean, I'm gonna only get faster and stronger. And my opponent's gonna get stronger and fatter. I don't know which one's better. I'm guessing they're gonna go for, oh no! I'm a fool. Oh, the Focus Sash! All right, so we're gonna get one. We're gonna get 1 + 2 Petal Dance off. If it doesn't crit, I'm pretty sure Espeon's living it. Hashtag bars. But if it does, we won. My opponent has no priority left. I really wish I could Sleep Powder this bugger, but that was an absolutely foolish move on my part. I totally forgot about Magic Bounce until I clicked Quiver Dance the first time. Once I saw Espeon Calm Mind, I'm like, wait, I can't put it to sleep. And that was sad. And that was a sad day for me. We're gonna Petal Dance. +2 Petal Dance. Well, really a +1 because you have +1 special defense. And it's that close. That close to taking it out, ladies and gents. Had I gone for the Leaf Storm, the Petal Dance before, without going for +2, I think we would have swept. Unfortunately, that is not the case. And we have to go after Flare Bud and finish things up the old-fashioned way. I can't go out into Toxicroak because the Size Shock will one-shot, no problem. And this battle is not, all these battles have been pretty close. They've been pretty interesting and pretty close in my opinion. I have no problem just going for the Extreme Speed here. If my opponent wants to switch out into something, so be it. I don't think the Zangoose can really handle double extreme speed along with the toxic damage it's going to rack up. My opponent's Arcanine is going to be a problem. We are going to have a little bit of a stall match with that Arcanine. He's going to withdraw the Pink Kitty. And goes out into the Arcanine. So we're going to have... Oh, the Arcanine's kind of low. Uh-oh. But we're intimidated now. We are intimidated now. And because we know this thing is defensive... Flare Blitz is resisted. It's not going to do enough. Man, this is going to be a long battle. And I can't go into Mayweather. I got to go into Mega Evolve. This is going to be my opponent has it. My opponent has it in the bag. If his Arcanine is Morning Sun, he's got it in the bag. Without a doubt. There's the Morning Sun. Yeah, I don't know if I can win. I really don't think I can win at all. I mean, I'll keep EQing. We can pray to Mo for a crit. We can try to work it. It's gonna be a long stretch home though, because we already know that Earthquake's not gonna do much against this defensive Arcanine. It's just not. We'll EQ it up. And we'll EQ until Mega Evolve either Mega Evolves or goes down to the ground. So we're gonna see an E-Speed here. And it's gonna be, I think we'll get 2 EQs off. I think we will. We're gonna see this, and I have a feeling that my opponent is going to be the one to Morning Sun here. I suppose it is the correct play unless I crit. Morning Sun is most likely the correct play. Actually, E-Speed might have taken me out. I'm at 43. I think it did 48 before. Regardless, though, this is the correct play by my opponent. Unfortunately, it's what it's going to come down to. And to be honest, to be completely honest with you, what stinks is that I think that my Arcanine can outstall this Arcanine because he's already used a lot of his Morning Suns. He does have leftovers, granted, but the Arcanine's going to get to a point where it struggles. And to be honest, I might be that guy. I might go ahead. I should have Heart Twisted in my Arcanine right there. That's what I should have done. Oh my gosh, I could have made that easier for myself. I could have switched to my Arcanine and gotten Intimidate off. But I can't go out into my Toxicroak. I can't do it. There's no reason. I really do think that my Arcanine wins against his team because he's got an Espeon left, which I can E-Speed. He's got the the already hurt Zangoose, which will probably go down to an E-Speed. And then yeah, he's already lost a bit of damage. I mean, he's already lost his a few Morning Suns. So I might cut this video here and come back when something actiony happens, if anything actiony happens, because I'm gonna finish this battle. I really don't want to win. I mean, I don't want to lose with this team if I don't have to, and I think I can win the stall war, so we're gonna go for it. I'll be back in a bit. All right, so he's actually going to switch out his Arcanine on that next turn and sacrifice Pink Kitty just so he can get his Arcanine's Intimidate off on my Arcanine. So a questionable play, perhaps, but probably the right one. So Pink Kitty does go down, and I think we're going to get right back into this stall war because I'm going to be -1. I'm not switching in my Toxicroak. I don't care if my Arcanine's -1. My Arcanine's just here to stall. So I'm not going to switch out at all. There's no chance of me doing that, even a little bit. So let's go ahead and go back to the stall. All right, so that was a really, really solid play. I know it was quiet in the beginning of that, but I had to have you guys see that. He just predicted my Morning Sun and went out into Alice, who is nowhere near as low as I thought Alice was. So here I have to decide who's more valuable to me, Flare Bud or Mayweather. And honestly, it ends up being Flare Bud. It stinks. I don't know that an E-Speed finishes off Zangoose from there, and I'm not gonna risk it. So we're just gonna hard switch out into our Toxicroak here. We basically just traded moves over and over again. We did all kinds of things. We're gonna get one-shotted by this Facade, which is unfortunate. Had we gone for anything but Morning Sun on that turn, we would have won right there. But because we're here now in this moment, Zangoose, Toxic Orb Attacker, and Arcanine, UU defensive. Facade only does 59%, So I think we still have it. Extreme speed only does 33%, but double extreme speed will take him out. So we're gonna go for E-speed here. I think that the Arcanine's actually gonna come in. There's the Arcanine. So we're probably gonna end up going back to stall a little bit. See, once again, Stealth Rock stops this from happening. Stealth Rock 100% stops this from happening, but I don't know that Vulcan actually has any more Morning Suns. That's the other thing. I think that Vulcan 300 is out of Morning Suns. So we're gonna pick back up once something happens. I don't want to waste your time with the stalling in the battle. I'm going for Flare Blitz here, so it's up to my opponent. If he wants to stay in, he stays in. He's gonna take a Flare Blitz. It's not gonna do much. You guys will see the damage here. I'm intimidated again, unfortunately, so it's not gonna do much at all, and we're probably gonna see a Morning Sun. There's the Morning Sun. All right, we'll be back once something happens. All right, so on the last turn, I just went for Will-O-Wisp on the Arcanine in order to bait out the Zangoose. So I'm baiting out Alice here, and I'm actually going for the Flare Blitz. So that was the whole intention of me going for Will-O-Wisp. I wanted to think that I ran out of offensive moves, and you can see that it's not gonna take Alice out because of the gosh darn Intimidate, but it's gonna bring Alice to a point where any extreme speed, no matter how much I get intimidated, is gonna take him out. I think that the Arcanine is gonna come back in, predicting an E-speed, but you know what? If it doesn't, there we go. So Alice is gonna go down, and I think we just sealed this match up for us. Now, it's gonna be a bit longer while the stall goes on, and this is sometimes what Pokemon becomes, but at least you guys don't have to experience it. This will be a shorter video than what it looks like for me right now. It looks like a 27-minute battle, but it'll probably only end up being like a 20-minute battle at most. So I'll get back to you once one of these Arcanines goes down. All right, so it looks like my opponent is going to win the stall war on this next turn, no matter what. It looks like the Flamethrower Leftovers combination was able to subdue the Rocky Helmet Flare Blitz combination. Just that recoil ended up just being too much for me to handle, and I thought he had run out of Flamethrowers, but he pulled some more out of his pocket, and that is going through the game. So a narrow 1-0 victory that led into a stall war, but it wasn't too stally for you guys because you didn't have to watch it. But that was the one loss with this team. I'm a little disappointed that we did lose. I could have played a bit better in that match without a doubt in order to win, but my opponent played fantastically, really stuck to his guns when it came down to stalling, and not like we were both back and forth, so it wasn't blaming one player, but like he was able to come out on top. So congratulations. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please sure you go ahead and leave a like rating down below. That thumb needs your touch. I'm gonna get the heck out of here. Have yourselves a good day, but above all else, keep it shady.